Welcome all. Today we are just going to see about AI model and its characteristics. So AI model. So AI model was developed by Russell and Novick. So generally there are four different types of approaches that can be considered with AI model. So AI model will be having four different types. Thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, acting rationally. So before going to that, first we'll be see one by one. Thinking humanly. So it means designing an AI system that thinks in the same way the human thinks. The main objective or the goal is not to get the correct answer but to follow the reasoning process similar to the human mind. So it is also said to be as an cognitive modeling, which knows about how humans perceive, learning, remember, reason, and how to solve the problem. So, generally, thinking humanly approach to understand how the human thought processes and they build computer model that imitate them. So, first one, introspection. So, observing and analyzing own thinking process by ourselves. Example, while we are solving a puzzle, we notice the steps we mentally follow. The artificial intelligence program is to follow the similar step by step reasoning pattern. Next is psychological experiment, studying how problem we are just going to adopt with the people to learn and make the decision. Researchers can collect the data about the human behavior. So it can be developed based on observed human reasoning patterns. Next is brain imaging. Technologies nowadays such as MRI, fMRI, and EEG are used to observe brain activity. Helps to identify which brain regions are active during the specific task. Neural networks and cognitive architecture are inspired by how the human brain can be process informations. So generally thinking humanly that can be observe human behavior and thinking patterns. Create a cognitive model representing the mental processes. Implement the model in a computer system and compare the human decision with artificial intelligence decision. Refine the model until AI behavior closely resembles and thinking humanly. So example is that suppose a person is solving a maze problem. Human explores paths, remember death ends, and learns from the mistakes. Thinking humanly, AI attempts to use the similar trial and error method process instead of simply calculating the shortest path instantly. So the applications will be of cognitive robotics, psychology and neuroscience research which can be used for test the theory about the human cognition. Medical diagnosis training simulates how the expert doctors think and making the decision by their own. Advantages will be of natural interaction, better understanding of human intelligence, human like problem solving, and learning from the human experiences. Disadvantages human thinking cannot be irrational, difficult to measure the thoughts, high computational complexity. So, this is about the example and applications of it. Human thinking, a student can solve the problem 25 into 16. That can be the student may can be represented with 16 can be breakdown into 10 divided by 6 and calculate 25 into 10 equal to 250, and finally they can be represent 25 into 6 that be of 150. Adding them they will be of 250 plus 150, you will be getting of 400. So this is about the thinking humanly. Next we'll be moving about thinking rationally. Thinking rationally, it's a law of thought approach. So means designing an AI system that the reasons logically and reaches correct conclusion from the available knowledge. So it follows the laws of thought but using the formal rules of logic that is used to derive the valid conclusion from the known fact. The main idea for the thinking rationally, if the premises are true and the reasoning is valid, the conclusion must be true. this approach can be inspired by the logical reasoning method by which can be known person called as an Aristotle. So the main approach uses the logical rules and formal reasoning to solve the problems. First of all, it will be represents the knowledge that can be represented as an facts, can be expressed using logical statements. All men are mortal. Socrates is man. Apply the logical rules. Then AI applies the inference rules to derive the new knowledge. Generally, finally, it can be generate the conclusion. Using a logical deduction, AI reaches a valid conclusion. So all men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Socrates is a mortal. Since the reasoning follows the logical laws, the conclusion is guaranteed to be correct if the premises are correct. So from the conclusion, the collect that is of thinking rationally. Generally, it collects the facts and knowledge, represents the knowledge in the logical form, apply the inference rules and reasoning logically, derive the conclusion, and select the logical correct answer. The real-time example that can be focused with the thinking rationally will be of medical diagnosis knowledge. If a patient has a bacterial infection, antibiotics may help. John has a bacterial infection. So, reasoning, John may benefit from the antibiotics. The artificial intelligence reaches the conclusion using the logical rules. So, the applications that can be represented as an medical diagnosis system as well as legal decision support systems, and a knowledge based system, decision support system with a rule based chatbot, and planning and scheduling generally plans for applying the logical constraints. Applications and advantages will be of suitable for structured problem, easy to verify with the consistent decisions. So this is about the thinking rationally. Next is acting humanly. So generally, acting humanly is a Turing test approach which can be used in a formal language automata or even in a compiler design. So it is for designing an AI system that behaves like a human being, regardless of how it actually thinks internally. The focus is on external behavior of the system. If the system responses and the action from those, the human can be considered as an intelligence. So generally the Turing test, we already know about it. It consists of three important participants. One will be of human interrogator, human responder, and AI systems. So the integrated asks same questions to both AI as well as human through the text-based interface. If the integrator cannot reliably distinguish from the AI from the human, the AI is said to be you have passed the Turing test. That suggests that machine can act as an human-like manner. So it will be working as a principle of receiving the input, understand the query, generate the human like response similar to the human would respond of it, and continue the conversation, and finally it will be evaluate, determines whether the responses appear human generated. The requirements that can be used with the acting humanly that can be focused into NLP, understand and generate for the human language, knowledge representation to store the facts and information about the world, automated reasoning, machine learning, perception, and robotics that the physical action can be done by the humans. So applications nowadays we are using with the acting humanly, chatbot, virtual assistant, social robo, educational tutors, environment, and gaming. Advantages will be of useful for conversational system, reduces training effort, widely applicable for the customer service, healthcare, education, and entertainment. Disadvantages will be subject evaluation, human-like errors, passing the test does not guarantee intelligence with a subjective evaluation. The real-time example that can be focused with acting humanly, a customer chatbot answer questions to naturally that the customer believe that they are chatting with the human agent. If the chatbots are predefined rules or machine learning internally, it satisfies the acting humanly approach because its behavior resembles that of an human. So this is about the acting rationally, acting humanly. Finally, about acting rationally. Acting rationally means designing an AI system that it takes the best possible action to achieve its goal based on the available information and circumstances. A system is considered as an rational if it does not the right thing to maximize the chances of success. So, acting rational focuses on correct actions and outcomes. So, here the term rational, that is rationally or rational agent, can be focused with it. It perceives its environment through the senses, process the information, and evaluates possible actions. It acts automatically or autonomously with the continuous human guidance that can be adopt the changes with environment. So moving to the rational, that can be deal with agent can be equal to or which can be equalized with the sensors plus a decision making and actuators. So to tell about the actional rationally, the working principle will be perceive the environment. It will be gathers each and every information from the user and analyze the information by the current situation and available option, select the best action that the agent chooses the action that maximize the chance of achieving its goal, perform the action that is of executed being with a selected action, learning and adopting. So the good example will be of using with acting rationally, that is of game playing agent. So mainly the goal will be of to win the game. The process will be of observe the game board, either a chess or either the tic tac toe, whatever the game. So observe the game board, evaluate the possible moves, predict the outcomes, choose the move with the highest probability of winning. So this type of an act rationally by selecting the best move rather than merely followed by the predefined rules. So the characteristics that can be focused with the rational agent will be of operates independently, observes its environment, works towards and achieving objectives, adjusts to changes condition, continuous functioning over time, and rational decision making. So applications will be game playing systems that can be of chess, strategy, and game agent. Recommendation systems like suggest the products, movies, or contents like to be interested user. So general advantages by using of acting rationally, goal oriented, handles the uncertainty, can make the decision even when the information is incomplete. Adaptive systems learn from the experience and environmental change, and efficient decision making. Disadvantages will be of requires accurate information environment, computational complexity, and difficult to define the goals whenever the appropriate objective may be a challenging thing. So this is about the acting rationally. So next we'll be moving about the other AI model classification. There are two different types of classifications are there. One is knowledge based classification, feedback based classification. So knowledge based classification. So knowledge based learning methods are classified into inductive and detective learning based on how they are acquired and how they are using the knowledge. First we'll be seeing about the inductive learning. So inductive learning that can be starts with the specific example or data that can be derived from general rules, patterns or hypothesis from them. So specific example that can be followed with general rule. The system learns from the observation and uses the learned patterns to predict the unseen cases. For example, first of all, we'll be collecting the training data. The system gathers the example. So email, win a prize now. Yes. Free money offer. Yes. Meeting at 10 a.m. No. Finding the pattern. The algorithm identifies the common features. So the words like free, price, money frequently occurs in spam mails. Generate the hypothesis. A rule is created. If an email contains free or a price, it may be a spam. Predict the new cases. The learned new rule is used for the unseen data. So let me take it as an example. Knowledge based inductive learning. So first of all, we'll be using with training data, background knowledge. Example for it: birds usually fly. Sparrow is a bird. the system learns the general pattern that the bird can fly. So applications will be spam filtering, image classification, NLP, and fraud detection. Advantages: it can learn automatically from the data, can discover hidden patterns, handles the large data sets, useful for prediction and classification, adopts a more data became available. Disadvantages will be of required large amount of data, learned rules may can be inaccurate, sensitive to noisy or incomplete data. Conclusions are probabilistic and not guaranteed. Next, moving to the next learning, that is of detective learning. It starts with the general rule and known facts and derives with a specific conclusion. It follows with general rule followed by the specific conclusion. The conclusion are logically guaranteed if the rules and facts are correct. So generally the principle that can be worked with the detective learning, it can be stored the rules. So all the humans are mortal. Add the facts. Socrates is an human. Apply the logical reasoning. Using the detection learning, all the humans are mortal. Socrates is a human. Infer the conclusion. Socrates is an mortal. So that is often a thing. And relevance based learning is a good example for detective learning. Focuses only on the relevant fact while ignoring the irrelevant information. Medical diagnosis system uses only the symptoms related to the diseases. So applications will be of theorem proving, mathematical proof generation, rule based system for decision making based on logical rules. So advantages: so it produces the logically correct conclusions, require less training data, easy to explain decision, reliable and consistent for suitable rule based domain. So needs the predefined rules and knowledge, cannot discover new patterns or the disadvantages, and difficult to handle uncertainty followed by the knowledge base maintenance to be also complex, which will be often drawback of detective learning. So this is about it. So to explain about one way of definition that can be explored with inductive learning and detective learning. Inductive learning derives general rules and patterns from the specific examples. Detective learning applies existing rules and knowledge to derive the logical correct conclusion. So this is about the knowledge based classification. Moving to the next based classification, that is of feedback based classification. Feedback based classification based on how the feedback is provided to the learning algorithm. So the artificial intelligence learning model can be classified into four different types. One is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. First, supervised learning. Supervised learning is a machine learning approach where the model learns from the labeled data. Each and every training example contains input data, correct input. So the label acts as a teacher, guiding the model to learn the correct mapping between the input and output. So input will be the major role to correct the output, learn the relationship and predict the output for it. So the working principle will be labeling the data which can be provided. Win money now, which will be of label spam. Meeting at 10 a.m. it's a not spam. So providing the label data is the first step. Training the model, that will be of a second step. The algorithm learns the pattern associated with each and every label. Make the predictions. When a new email arrives, the model predicts whether it is an spam or not. The applications will be decision prediction, weather forecasting, and image recognitions or the applications of supervised learning. Advantages will be high accuracy when even though the label data is available, easy to evaluate the performance and efficiency, suitable for classification and the predicting task. Disadvantages, we can tell it as an requires large amount of label data. Labeling data can be expensive and time consuming of it. Performance depends only on the data quality. So example, apple tends to be a fruit, mango tends to be a fruit, carrots is a vegetable. The child learns to classify new items correctly. This is about the supervised learning. So unsupervised learning, so it learns from the unlabeled data. The system receives the data but no correct answers, it must discover the pattern, structures, or the relationship on its own. Principle of it, the input data can be discover the hidden patterns. So the working principle, first of all, it will be provide the unlabeled data. The customer purchase the records without the categories. So finding the similarities, that the algorithm that can be group similar customers together and form the clusters. So clusters that will be often can be represented as grouping. So customers can be similar behavior and placed in the same group. So clustering examples that will be of with the shopping website groups will be of frequent buyers, occasional buyers, and new customer without being told by the categories beforehand. Applications will be market analysis, anomaly detection, document clustering are the good examples and applications of um, unsupervised learning. So no labeling required, can discover hidden patterns and useful for the labeled data is unavailable is the advantages of unsupervised learning. So disadvantages will be of results may be difficult to interpret, lower accuracy that the supervised learning that the evaluation is challenging for that. So that is an main disadvantages of it. And the real-time example that can be used for unsupervised learning, which will be of imagine a sorting of basket mixed fruits without knowing their names. You can group them. One is color, one is size, and one is shape. This is similar to the clustering. It is often grouping. So that is all about the unsupervised learning. So next we'll be moving to the semi-supervised learning. Semi-supervised learning is a combination of small amount of labeled data and large amount of unlabeled data. It combines the benefits of both the supervised and unsupervised learning. So principle can be followed with the semi-supervised learning, which will be of few labeled examples plus many unlabeled examples, which can be provide the better learning. So the working principle starting with the labeled data. So example will be of having 100 labeled images of cats and dogs. Next will be of add unlabeled data. So 10,000 unlabeled images. Learn from both. The model uses labeled data for guidance and unlabeled data for improving the learning. So the applications that can be focused with semi-supervised learning, which will be of medical image analysis, web content classification, face recognition, which can be used for security and privacy purposes. So advantages, it reduces the labeling cost, better accuracy that can be purely unsupervised learning to utilize the large amount of data in the um, in the particular available quantity. Disadvantages will be of more complex to implement. Incorrect labels may affect the performance and depends on the quality of labeled samples. So this is about the semi-supervised learning. Finally, that will be often reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning is generally it is said to be as an feedback based learning method. So where the agent learns by interacting with its environment. So this type of an agent receives generally two important points. One is of rewards, one is of penalties. Rewards for the good actions, penalties for the bad action. The objective is to maximize the total reward. So first of all, the principle will be of action followed by the feedback, followed by the learn better actions. So the working principle will be of observe the environment, the agent examines its current state, take the action, receives the feedback, positive reward for good action, negative reward for the bad action, and learn from the behavior based on the rewards received. Repeat. Over time, the agent learns the best strategy of it. So the good example for reinforcement learning. So training a dog sits, reward, which will be often treat. Dog jumps, no reward. Eventually, the dog learns that sitting results in a rewards. This is similar to the reinforcement learning, which can be represented as an feedback of it. Applications will be of game playing, chess, resource management, and recommendation system is an application for it. The it learns through the experience, works well with the dynamic environment, can discover the optimal strategies or the advantages of it. And training may take long time, requires many interaction, and designing the reward function can be difficult or the disadvantages of reinforcement learning. So to summarize about all the four important learning that comes with the feedback based learning, which can be of supervised learning, learns from the labeled data where the correct answer are provided by the teacher. Unsupervised learning, which can be of unlabeled data by learning, discovering hidden pattern and structure. Semi supervised learning learns using a combination of both the labeled and unlabeled data. And finally, reinforcement learning learns through the rewards and penalties by interacting with the environment and maximizes the cumulative reward. So this is about the overview about the all the different types of learning and feedback based classification. So the examples algorithm for each and every approach that can be represented over here: supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement. So supervised, there will be of decision tree is an example, and k-means algorithm, and generative adversarial networks called for semi-supervised learning, and q learning or q network learning that can be focused on reinforcement learning. Support vector mission will be of supervised and unsupervised with a priori. Navy based classifier with self trained with the semi supervised, and model based value estimation will be of reinforcement learning. Linear regression and logical regression, which will be both used with the supervised learning. Hierarchical clustering and k nearest neighbor or unsupervised. Low density separation and Laplacian regulation, which will be of semi supervised. And policy optimization and state action reward state action that can be of reinforcement based on the feedback quantity. And supervised will be of Navy based, and unsupervised with will PCA, and semi supervised with your heuristic approaches, and reinforcement will be of deep Q networks. So below the example that will be of supervision, supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement. So image recognition that will be of an customer segmentation with the text document classifier as semi-supervised. The reinforcement will be of playing a games that will be of a chess game. Market prediction, which will be of an house prices. Anatomy of a product detection. Speech analysis will be of semi-supervised, and self-driving cars, which can be of your reinforcement algorithm. Challenges with each and every approach will be of supervised. Pre-processing of data can be of time consuming. Unsupervised, more time required for user for interpretation. Semi-supervised will be of complex iterative process, and reinforcement will be of choosing a reward structure wisely. Cannot give unknown information as per the supervised learning, may result in less accurate prediction compared with the supervised learning with unsupervised learning. Not accurate as supervised learning, and fast learning gives small samples which will be of reinforcement learning. Cannot handle the complex task in supervised. Unsupervised will be of computationally more complex than supervised learning. Semi supervised will be of cannot handle more complex tasks, not preferably for learning simple problems will be of reinforcement learning. Next, we will be moving to the problem types and characteristics. There are so many problem characteristics are available in the appropriate method. One by one, we'll be seeing about it. First is the problem is decomposable? Can the solution steps can be ignored or undone? Is the universe predictable? Is a good solution absolute or relative? Is the solution a state or a path? What is the role of knowledge? Does the task require human interaction? Is the problem decomposable? So a problem is said to be a decomposable. It can be divided into smaller independent sub-problems solved separately and then combined to obtain the final solution. So even though there will be of a large problem that can be divided into sub problems smaller plus the combination of solutions. If the sub problem can be solved independently without affecting each other, the problem is a decomposable. Why decomposable important in artificial intelligence? It simplifies the complex problem, reduces the computation time, makes a problem solving easier, allows the parallel processing, and improves the efficiency and maintainability. So let me take it as an example for here. So integration of x square plus 3x plus sine 2x cos 2x dx. So this problems can be broke down into three different independent parts. So integration of x square dx, integration of 3x dx, integration of sine 2x cos 2x dx. So that can be solved individually. So integration of x square dx, that can be represented in the terms of x cube divided by 3. So next is integration of 3x dx, that can be represented as 3. We are just going to integrate the x, that can be represented as x squared by 2. So 3x squared by 2. So integration of sin x cos x, sin 2x cos 2x. So using the trigonometric identities, 1 by 2 sin x sin 4x dx, that is of minus 4x divided by 8. So the combined results, that can be represented as x cube divided by 3 plus 3x square by 2 minus cos 4x divided by 8 plus the constant value c. So the original statement is solving by combining the solutions of similar and smaller independent problem. So see here the blocks world problem, that can be represented with the start and goal. The initially it will be having the steps as CA in one block and B is in another block. So the main ultimate goal is to reach in a single block ABC. So we'll be solving step by step and it can be of decomposable. So that is often blocks world problem. It is an strips world problem. So what is blocks world problem? It is a classical A planning problem where the blocks are stacked on a table. So A on a table and A on B, B on table, C on table. So goal state will be of C on B, B on A and A on table. So how we are just going to use with the composition of decomposable. So the goal can be divided into smaller tasks. Place A on the table, place B on A, place C on B. Each and every task that can be planned and executed separatable. Why it is decomposable? Instead of finding a one huge plan, A breaks the problem into smaller goals and solve the step-by-step process one by one. So working of the principle, so analyze the problem, create the sub-problem, solve the each and every sub-problem with the multiple and suitable methods for each and every part and combine the solutions for that. Merge the individual solutions to obtain the final answer. Advantages will be simple planning problem solving and faster computation with a better resource utilization, easier debugging and reusability. So the applications and the disadvantages will be of overhead and decomposition. Combining the solutions may be difficult and it will be used for the problem. So here the term that can be represented as an strips. So strips is a classical artificial intelligence system and used to solve the planning problem, that is an blocks world problem. Strips, it can be represented as Stanford Research Institution problem solver. Precondition, the condition that must be before an action can be performed. Delete list facts removed after performing the action. Add list will be a facts that can be added after performing this action. So the actions will be of performing, precondition, delete list. So initially it will be starts, the condition, so blocks on the table, B on the table, A on the table, C on the top of A, reduce the hard is empty, nothing is on the top of C and nothing is on the top of B. So the goal state will be moving it on C on table, B of C, A comma B, hand empty and clear on A. So this is will be of unstack A and put down C, and finally we are just going to make a stack of it. How we are just going to make? On C comma table, on B comma C, on A of B, hand empty, and finally clear the position of A. And finally from the initial state to final state we are just going to achieve with it. So that is the strips. While adding and deleting the list from it, it is of simple and easiest to represent the planning problems, used for logical reasoning, efficient for small planning tasks, widely used in automated planning. And disadvantages will be of assumes the completely known environment cannot easily handle uncertainty, difficult for very large real world problems, assume as actions are deterministic. Next we'll be moving with, can a solution steps to be ignored or undone? So the characteristics is used to classify the AI problems based whether the steps are taken during the problem solving can be ignored, undone or cannot be reversed. The three types will be of ignorable problems, recoverable problems, irrecoverable problems. So ignorable problems, once a step is performed, it does not matter whether he will remember or not, because it have been no effect on future steps. The solution path itself is not important, only the final answer will be matters. Solution steps can be include of it, ignore of it. So it can be solved one by one, and the move to the next step, and never returns to the previous step. Only the final solution is important. So the example is theorem proving all the humans are mortal. Socrates is a human, therefore the Socrates is an mortal. So here the theorem proving is ignorable problems. Advantages will be of simple control structure, faster execution, and less memory required. So works only with the previous action, does not affect any future decisions, and not suitable for the dynamic environment. This will be often disadvantages of it. So moving to the second point, that is of recoverable problem by using of backtracking method. So wrong decisions can be corrected by undoing previous actions. So solution steps can be undone. The problems can be typically solved using backtracking, rollback, and trial and error method. So it will be of works with the principle of choosing an action, check whether it will be leads the goal. If not, undo the action. Try with the other path. So the good example with your 8 puzzle problem. Initially there will be of 8 puzzle problem. There will be of given numbers will be there. Goal state will be there. So suppose we are moving from one blocks to another block. So which will be of undo the move, return the previous state, and try to other move. So mistakes can be corrected, guarantees finding the solutions if not one exit suitable for the problem solutions. Disadvantages will be of, so it will be of additional and more memory. Backtracking can be more expensive and can be done only with the slow for large search spaces. Irrecoverable problems, so can be taken the actions only once, it cannot be physically undone. So the solution steps cannot be retracted, therefore the systems must carefully plan before acting. So the working principle will be of analyze the possible actions, predict the unsequences consequences, select the best action, and execute it. So the good example for irrecoverable problem is in chess. Suppose a player moves with a queen. After the move becomes a part of game history. It cannot be taken during the actual play. Therefore, the chess is considered as an irrecoverable problem. Although the computer can analyze the previous positions internally, the chess game cannot affect the retracted. The other examples with other games will be of robo assembly operations, spacecraft control, and real world navigation systems are the example for it. The advantages by using of irrecoverable problem encourages carefully planning, suitable for real decision making, and reflects the practical situation accurately. And drawbacks of irrecoverable problem will be of mistakes are costly, requires extensive planning, um, recover may be impossible for it. So this is about the irrecoverable problem. So to summarize the all the three different types of problems, so ignorable problem, it will be of immediate solution steps can be ignored, or no backtracking is required. So irrecoverable problem in which the incorrect solution steps can be undone using backtracking or rollbacks techniques. Irrecoverable problems, the problems can be used with the action cannot be reversed, careful planning before execution. So the example which is given in the particular state will be of 8 puzzle problem. So the 8 puzzle problem consists of 8 number tiles, 1 to 8, one black space that will be of empty box. The objective is to rearrange the tiles from the start state to the goal state by sliding one tile at a time into the blank space. So start state will be of 5 4 empty box, 6 1 8 7 3 and 2. The goal state will be of 1 2 3 at the top, 8 blank space followed by 4 7 6 5. So the components will be of the problem. The state represents the particular arrangement of the tiles. First, initial state it will be of represented as 5 4 6 1 8 7 3, and the first row itself there will be of empty column. So the operators can be moved with each and every blank tile will be of up down left and right depending on its position. For the given state, start state, it will be of 5 4 blank space 6 1 8 7 3 2. So the blank can be moved with it left and down because it is in the top right corner. Why? It is of recoverable problem. So we can move in the first row 5, 4 can be moved the um, left hand, that is of left. 5 blank and 4 will be there, remaining all it will be same it is. So the reversed, the previous move can be reversed, and 8 puzzle will be of recoverable problem because the solution step can be undone with the backtracking. So each and every step that can be used according to it, and the searching algorithm that can be used for this particular problem characteristics will be of BFS, DFS and UCS, and inform search that can be represented with BFS, that is of best first search, A star search and hill climbing search that can be used with it. So these are about the characteristics that can be represented with ignored or undone. So moving to the next thing, is the universe predictable? So the problem characteristics examines whether the results of action that can be predicted with certainty. So one will be of certain, predictable with a proper outcome problems, with another one will be of uncertain, unpredictable outcome problems. First will be see about the certain outcome, that is of predictable universe. A problem is said to be as a certain outcome if every action produces a known and predictable result. So same action plus same state that can be results with same result. The environment becomes deterministically. The current state is completely known. The effects of the action is also known. No randomness exists, and the future states can be predicted accurately. So this will be a good example for 8 puzzle problem. So other examples we can tell it as in mathematical calculation, Sudoku, theorem proving, and route finding for a known map. There is of shortest path distance. Advantages will be of easy planning, accurate predictions, simpler search algorithm, and less computational complexity. And disadvantages will be of assumes complete knowledge, not suitable for many real world problems. Next, move on to uncertain outcome playing bridge. So it will be of unpredictable universe. A problem as an uncertain outcome where the exact result of action cannot be predicted. So same action plus same state that is not equal to always the same result. The environment contains uncertainty, hidden information, or randomness. So the working principle for uncertainty will be of information may be incomplete, other agents can be unpredictable, random events may occur, multiple outcomes are possible. So a good example will be of tossing a coin. Before tossing, the possible outcomes will be of head or tail. We cannot predict with a certainty while outcome will be occur. So this is an unpredictable problem will be there. So other examples will be of medical diagnosis, traffic prediction, and business forecasting. Advantages will be of models with a real world situation can handle the incomplete information useful for the decision making under uncertainty. The disadvantages will be of prediction make incorrect, requires probabilistic reasoning, more computational complex over there. So these are about the advantages and disadvantages of it. So moving to the fourth one, is a good solution absolute or relative? So generally it have been examined how the quality of a solution is judged. So a solution can be absolute solution or a relative solutions. We know about absolute solution is one that satisfies a fixed and predefined criterion. The solution either correct or incorrect based on the objective standard. So there is a single best answer on a fixed success criterion. The quality of the solution does not depend on the other solutions. So the working principle will be of it defines the clear goal, search for the solution that exactly satisfy it, and accepts only one solution meeting the required standard. So the good example will be of traveling salesman problem. A salesman visit a city exactly once and return to the starting city. So find the shortest path route. So example, route A, B and C is there. Route A will be of 180 kilometer, route B will be of 100 kilometer, route C will be of 90 kilometers. The optimal solution will be of route C. It will be of 90 kilometers. Since there is only one short route, the solution is absolute. Whereas the shortest path is fixed, other paths are not equally good. The objective and aim will be of definite and unchanging. So this is the um, example for absolute solutions. So it will be a fixed objective, exact answer preferred. Other requires the exhaustive search, easy to evaluate correctness or the examples and characteristics of the absolute solution. Advantages will be of clear success criteria, objective evaluation, high resolution and high reliability with the proper optimization problems are the advantages. Disadvantages will be of may require extensive computation. Finding the optimal solutions may be expensive, not always practical for the large problems. Moving to the next solution will be of relative solutions. So it can be evaluated by comparing it with the other available solutions. So the solution, it does not perfect, but it can be needs only for the better than competitors. Success depends only on the comparison with the other solutions. So the general principle that can be followed with the relative solutions is generate a solutions, compare it with the competitive solutions, choose the one that performs the best relative to others. So take it as an example of span detection computations. There are three systems are there with the accuracy of 95%, 96% and 97%. System C will be winning with the performance better than others. Even though it is having 97% or 98%, the absolute criterion it will be of relative to the best. So the example will be of chess competition. The chess program may not be play perfectly. It defeats all other competitors and it will be considered as successful, such a relative to the opponents. So the relative components which will be having some characteristics based on the comparison, no fixed standard and performance ranking is more important and the common in competitions. So advantages will be of easier to achieve, encourages continuous improvement and useful for the optimal solutions that can be difficult for finding in real world situations. Disadvantages are success depends on competitors, may not represent true optimality and standards can be changed over the time. So that is about the relative solutions of it. So the summary of absolute solution and relative solutions. Absolute solution is judged against a fixed and predefined criterion independent of all other solutions. Relative solution is judged by comparing its performance with other competitor solutions rather than the fixed standard. Is the solution a state or path? So it will be determines what form the final solution takes. So at each and every problems, so it requires the goal state while other require the complete sequence of actions or states that leads to the goal. So therefore the solutions are be classified as state based solution and path based solution. State based solution that can be focused only on reaching the desired goal state. The sequence of steps taken to reach the goal is not important, only the final state matters. So the working principle will be of, so it can be started from the initial state, explore the possible states, reach the goal state and returns the goal state as in solutions. So shortest path problem, it can be calculating with the GPS system to determine the destination city. Initial state will be of A, goal state will be of B. The primary objective is to reach the destination. The solution can be represented by the final state, reach the city B. So these are the examples and the advantage will be of it can be represent simple with the less memory required and suitable whenever the result is important. Does not care about and explain the solution was reached and difficult to reproduce the action later will be of disadvantages. Next we will be moving with the path based. Okay, path based will be of consist of entire action with the states and actions from the state to goal state. So that is about the path states. So moving to the next problem characteristics. So that will be of what is the role of knowledge. So how much knowledge is required to solve the problem. So some artificial intelligence problem that can be requires, so knowledge with a little and mainly depend on searching techniques while other requires extensive domain knowledge to even understand or recognize the solutions. So why knowledge is acts as a constraint to reduce the search space and guide towards the promising solutions. So knowledge that can be helps to finding faster but it not the solutions itself. So the good example will be of playing a chess. So a computer could theoretically examine millions of possible moves. This would be extremely time consuming. The chess knowledge will be of control the center of the board, protect the king, develop the pieces earlier, avoid the losing variables pieces. The knowledge helps to move poor and focus on good ones. Since the knowledge is used as a main constraint, the search of the solution, the AI search to move, but the knowledge makes the search efficient. So the working principle will be of generate the possible moves, apply the chess knowledge, discard the weak moves, evaluate the strong moves, and select the best move is a good example. Without knowledge, consider 1,000 possible moves. With knowledge, only 50 promising moves. The search becomes much faster. So this will be often main important thing. And knowledge for recognizing a solutions. So without knowledge, the system cannot even determine what the condition solutions looks like, and it can be of understand and recognize the proper solutions for it. So this is about the thing. And the other part, the characteristics will be of puzzle solving, route finding, and game search, that will be of knowledge side. And knowledge intensive, it will be of a large language understanding, and legal reasoning and news analysis are the knowledge intensive systems. Advantages of using knowledge will be of reduce search time, improves the decision quality, enables understanding of complex domain, helps interpret real world information, make AI more intelligent and efficient. Disadvantages will be of knowledge acquisition is difficult, with knowledge can be become outdated, large knowledge based only on the expensive to maintain, incorrect knowledge leads to incorrect conclusions. So this is about a thing. And moving to the final summary, the knowledge will be have play a major role, simply constraining the search for solutions to being essential for recognizing and understanding the solutions, as in the case of chess. So last point will be of, does the task require human interaction? So generally it examines whether the AI system needs to communicate with the humans during the problem solving. One will be of solitary problem and another will be of an conversational problem. Let me take it as a solitary problem. So it's one in which artificial intelligence system works independently without requiring the intermediate communication with the human. Once the problem is given, the system solves it by own. No additional information or guidance or explanation is required during the executions. So the main principle for working is input problem is provided, artificial intelligence process the information correctly, solution is generated and it is guaranteed, final answer is written. So there is no other interaction between the user and the system while solving the problem. So let me take it as a real time example for solitary problem. So mathematical theorem proving all humans are mortal. Socrates is an human. So AI proves that Socrates is an mortal. So the system does not need any other user to ask the questions during the proof process. Mathematical theorem proves the solitary problem. So the advantages will be it executes faster, no communication overhead will be provided, easy to automate and consistent decision making. So disadvantages will be of the contain cannot contain, obtain missing information, difficult to handle many other difficult or unambiguous situations, less flexible in dynamic environment. So moving to the second problem, conversational problem. It is an interaction between AI system and the user during the problem solving. So the system and user exchange the information to reach the solutions. So the AI may ask the questions, seek clarification, or explain its reasoning. So the working principle will be user provides initial information, it analyzes the information, asks the follow-up questions if needed, and provides the additional details. It also refines this reasoning, final solutions can be produced with it. So the real-time example will be of medical diagnosis. Suppose a patient says, I have a fever. The information to the doctors is insufficient for diagnosis. Then they can be asked with the AI. So how long you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Do you have any body pain? Based on this answers, A recognize it can be a diagnosis. Medical diagnosis is a conversational problem. So the other example that can be represented with conversational problem will be of virtual assistants, technical troubleshooting, and educational tutoring system. So this is about the conversational problem. So moving to the importance of it, so it can be focused on search algorithm, optimization, and mathematical problem, and it can be used in the NLP, database management, dialogue management, and human computer interaction. So this is about the importance of it. So to tell about the one important line about the task that can be required, the human interaction, solitary problem that can be solved independently by the AI without requiring immediate communication with the humans, whereas conversational problem that can be requires with the interaction between AI and the user to obtain the information provided by the assistants or explain about the reasoning before the requires the solutions. So this is about the overall problem characteristics which have been have the 7 importance point. So today I have been discussed about the AI model and 4 different types of AI model, and we have been solved about and we have been see about the concepts of what are the characteristics that can be communicated with the AI model. Thank you.